Hey folks, Charlie Sims here with a speed build. Today's being a Snowy Escape rental for couples. It ends up being a one bed, one bathroom rental because of the amount of landscaping I do, and it does end up being a bungalow because I was really out of my comfort zone with this build. It was really fun though, but I thought I would just gently ease myself into these types of builds as it's all new. I'm working off a couple of references I found on Pinterest. Thought it would be cute to have a kind of outhouse too, which I had later. And in a lot of the pictures on Pinterest, there were ponds at the back of the homes, and I thought that was a really cute idea and an excuse to place the koi fish that we've got with Snowy Escape too. I achieved the pond look by using the fountain tool, by the way. If you use the fountain tool instead of the pool tool, you don't get that thick border that you get with pools, which it's a lot easier to cover up as I do later. This is just me working out the exterior of the home. And the floor plan basically ends up being completely open plan, which is something else that's really out of my comfort zone. So I actually do the floor plan off camera because it took me quite a while to work out. And the outside path surrounding the home ends up being pebbled, and I add some slabs onto the top of the pebbles, the slabs we get from debug later on. And now I'm working on covering up the pond edge to make it look a bit more natural. And I first grab a load of rocks and place them on the edge before realising I can place them in the water for a more realistic look. That you'll see me doing that later, and I actually love the landscape for this build. It ends up being so diverse and vibrant, and I love that these rocks have some moss on them, which is really fitting for right by a pond. And you can find these objects in the debug menu by typing testing cheats on in the cheat bar and bb.show live edit objects. And I normally filter this long list by base game, but I do later filter it by Snowy Escape and find some gorgeous debug plants we got with that. And this set of mossy rocks that I find from the debug menu save me so much time, and I just put some grass and other miscellaneous foliage on top of them, and that is how I cover that harsh edge. And I go back and forth to this pond a few times during this speed build, but I do a bit of it off camera because it just takes me so long, and I'm just pulling out as many different types of rocks and foliage as I can to cover this edge. And I think those spider plants look so good here as well. I really did enjoy building this. I think my next endeavour will be to build a two-storey, a Japanese home, which I know doesn't sound like a big deal, but I honestly had no idea what I was doing with this build. And as you can see, I've moved the rocks down to be at the water's edge, which blends a lot better with the foliage at the top. And then I move on to the actual exterior of the home, which ends up being mahogany and white. And here I am creating a jutting out roof, and I use these columns from Snowy Escape. Well, I use everything from Snowy Escape. This build isn't pack restricted, but I basically only end up using Snowy Escape and the base game. And the side of the house that I'm making is basically all sides of the house. So the exterior of this home was actually quite easy. It was just the interior, because once you have like three sides that are effectively just door, what do you put anything up against? If that makes sense. But it ends up working out. And I then think about putting these windows down because they look awesome, but I feel like these windows look like apartment windows, like windows you would have if you were concerned about privacy. So like in terrace apartments or apartments above a shop on a busy street, or at least that's what I think. And then I find these double short windows that I didn't notice before, and these fit perfectly above the doors. Now I'm just adding some roof details with these spandrels we got from Get Together, and the wood tone actually fits perfectly with the windows. And I do end up changing these back windows to fit more with the room, so I removed the extra window on either side. And now I am creating an outhouse, which ends up being very open and airy, and it's placed on decking facing the pond, which feels really relaxing and peaceful to me. I'm imagining cricket sounds and other pond sounds while you chill out in the outhouse. There's not a lot inside the outhouse, just a meditation stool and some benches. And then I'll place a yoga mat on the decking because I think it would be really nice to do yoga in this setting. I say that, I've never done yoga, but the idea of yoga sounds very nice. Maybe I would consider it if I lived here. So soon you will see me start to make the outhouse, and I make it half open and half closed. So I do that by removing the walls and just putting a column in there for support, and I open up the other side as well. And this is just me doing the roof. I have a bit of trouble with the roof. It just looks like there's a bit too much going on. So in the end, I add a hipped roof, I think it's called, and then it appears less busy. So here's me adding the hipped roof just to make it a bit more simple, because it's quite a small outhouse. And I think this is ends up looking quite nice. And now I open up the back of the outhouse a bit more and place a column on every corner, just so that it looks a bit more finished and add in that detail. And then soon I discover these beautiful debug plants we get from Snowy Escape, and then I find some lovely flowers, but I think they're a bit too manicured to fit in with the surrounding landscape and plants, so I remove those. And then I find that we have a load of huge new rocks in the debug menu as well, one with a sign in. And soon I find the lily pads, and I put a load of them in the pond, and the lily pads enable us to have koi fish, so you just put them down and then you have koi fish in your pond, which is nice and easy. I can't remember if I got that from the build menu or the buy. I think possibly the debug. I imagine it's in fountain tools. And then I place a couple of the new trees that are just beautiful. Love that red one for a pop of colour. And then soon I will be moving on to the path down the side of the house, which is how you get to the front door. And then just cluttering this up with a load of miscellaneous plants, any kind of plants really. And this is me working out how to do the path. And I really like this fence that we got with Snowy Escape as well. I know we didn't get a matching gate with it, but I think it works quite well in this build, just open. And this is just me pulling out some more lovely debug plants from the Snowy Escape menu, and then I find this street lamp looking thing that I think is just perfect there. And I also really like the gate, which matches the window and the doors perfectly in that rich mahogany. And then I just neaten up the pathway a bit after putting some eucalyptus type plants in and some more miscellaneous foliage that I think will match the house. Though the foliage is really mixed, there's no kind of theme to the foliage, I don't think. And then I start making a pathway up to the front door using these debug pavement objects. And now after going offline to do the floor plan, I realise that I need some more sticky out areas. through lack of a better word. And as you can see, I did do the floor plan off camera, so we'll go and have a look at, we'll see that when I start to furnish it. But I'm just doing some more foliage at the back because it was looking a little bit plain. And yeah, just pulling out some more rocks, some more eucalyptus type looking spider plants, I'm not sure what they're called. And then soon I pull out these bright pink flowers from the debug menu base game that I love. And then some more Snowy Escape debug plants. So I think all the debug plants are mostly Snowy Escape and base game. And this is me just making a little Zen garden in the back that's open, fairly open. And then soon I'll pull out some, oh yes, I put that cute little fountain down, but then I do later swap it out for those monkey statues because I don't realise they exist until later, and I think they look so cute. Then we've got a bench that matches the windows and the doors, and then I find this thing that looks so cute and I put that in there. And then I am going on to the interior furnishing. So yeah, this is one bed, one bathroom, but the toilet is separate to the shower and the bathroom. And then I go back to this outhouse that I'm not sure initially how to furnish it, and I end up just putting a couple of stools down and a couple of benches, a bench from Spa Day, I believe, and then size up that plant with the square bracket keys. And then I just place a couple of lights around the exterior of the garden, and then a barbecue. Cover these lovely matching lights we get with Snowy Escape, and I put them on the exterior and the front doors so that the outside is lit up. And this is me working out the kitchen area, which ends up looking pretty cute. Still open though. So we end up going with dark work surfaces that I end up changing to be black and white, this whole area. Pull out these little chairs with the throw on that I think are so cute. And yeah, the colour scheme does end up changing quite a bit to black and white. It's currently quite light brown, I guess. But then I put a few statement black shelves down that kind of dictate the whole of the colour scheme for the kitchen area, and I guess informal seating area. And this is me just putting some chopping boards down and some generic kitchen clutter, and then I do these nice black shelves because we don't get matching cabinets with Snowy Escape, which it would have been nice to have matching cabinets, but I'm glad that we've got kitchen counters, and they are very lovely kitchen counters. It just would have been nice to have some matching cabinets as well, but the shelves work. It's quite a small kitchen. I think if it was a bigger kitchen, it would be quite annoying to have to put a load of shelves or think about other things I could put on the walls, but because it's a small one, it does kind of work with the shelf. And then I'm just pulling a load of kitchen items out to clutter that shelf up with salt and pepper and plants and everything. And then I do initially want to put a coffee table in, but I just don't have enough space to put the coffee table in because I totally forget the fridge. And there is a point where I remember that I need to put the fridge in the kitchen, and it's this point. So I end up moving that fridge and then getting rid of the coffee machine because your Sims need at least one surface. to prepare their food on, and then I put that down, which I imagine is like a kind of, looks like a bit of a Japanese calendar, but I don't think it is. But I just imagine it is in the kitchen, because I tend to put calendars in the kitchen. Yeah, and then this is me just putting some shoes down. I do forget the no shoes sign, so I do apologise about that. If you do download this build from the gallery, you will have to add the no shoes sign if you would like your Sims to take off their shoes on arrival. And then I put the dining table on the raised platform, and then I switch up the colour scheme to a more dark colour scheme. And then I discover that the bed doesn't have any exciting covers on it. And I think I end up putting, this lovely one from Eco Lifestyle down, and then I do put the Snowy Escape side tables down and the lamps. And then I put this dine out mini menu on the side table in a minute, but before that I'm just cluttering up the kitchen counters, because they do have shelves underneath, and the shelves have a lot of space for your objects, so you can put like more than 2 down, for example, which is really good. And this is just me working on the washroom, adding in a couple of towels and 2 dress robes for whoever is staying here. This is really for a couple sim, maybe like honeymooning or otherwise. And then I'll put down that little heating object, which I absolutely love. And I put this divider down to make the shower unit. I absolutely love that divider. And I decide to swap that shelf out for towels, and then I put a radiator from Vampires underneath as like a kind of heated towel rack, because I assume it is quite cold in Mount Komorebi, even in their even in the non-snowy area. And then I'm just cluttering up this side table and adding some plants and electronics. Love the plants, the new plants that we get with the Snowy Escape as well. And this is me making the open living room. I love both the fireplaces we get, especially this one. It looks so modern and sleek. And then I think I end up putting a couple of chairs again with the throw on, and then I use the coffee table. And I mean to use this buffet, but I think I accidentally end up using the one from Nifty Knitting because they look really similar, but I did mean to put the one from Snowy Escape down. And then I grab this pavement from Jungle Adventure because it looks good under the fireplace. And then I'm just cluttering up this coffee table, and I add this huge furry rug onto the coffee table and put those gorgeous plants down in the second entryway of the home. And then just add this bowl on the end table, which I always assume, we got that with Eco Lifestyle, and I always assume that is a bowl for keys, but I actually don't know what it is or what it's meant for, but I put it down for keys. And then I'm just adding a rug on both sides of the entryway, and then I just use Seasons again, and I find this painting is just perfect for Mount Komorebi. And then I just add the lights that we got with Snowy Escape as well, which are very pretty. I really don't think there's a single item that I have any quarrels with in this pack. I think they're all beautiful. And then I'm working on the wallpaper. which ends up being very different to what I initially put down. Find some blue tiles that I think look pretty sleek for the bathroom. I don't end up using those new tiles from Snowy Escape yet. I haven't found a build to use them in, but I do like them a lot. And then that was me just adding a stone feature wall, and then I'm working out a black and white colour scheme for the kitchen in informal lounge area, and then just finding some floors. We don't get too many new floors with Snowy Escape, but I like this one. So I changed the tiles round with the comma key, so I can give that a nice quirky pattern. And I do end up changing the upper flooring to black too, but I don't record that, so the upper flooring does end up being black to match the trim, which is also black, as you can see in the background there. And this is where I swapped that fountain out for some monkeys, which look really cute as well. Love those 3 monkey statues. I don't know if they're from Debug either. I don't think they are. And then I end up scrapping this, and I end up getting those Debug pavements out, the circular pavements we get with the base game, and then I end up painstakingly placing these on the whole of the back, really, to get to the Zen garden and to get to the outhouse. And I do end up placing a bench on that outhouse before the build is over as well. And I'm really just finishing off this build now, continuing to put paved stones down on the front and around to the barbecue outdoor seating area. Then I put some terrain paint on the foliage at the back and around the pond. And then I put a little bench by my outhouse, and we are on to the screenshots after that. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you would like to see more of my content, please hit the subscribe button. Catch you later.